Lots to talk about. Let's go. All rise and shout. It's time for What's Trending.
Welcome inside FBC Mortgage Stadium in Orlando, Florida, known as the Bounce House. But it's the BYU Cougars with some spring in their step. L.J. Martin kept the legs turning. Robert stays in bounds. 15-10-5 touchdown.
That was like a Cougar growl in the middle of the call there from Greg. That was great. BYU beats UCF to improve to 8-0, 37-24 on the road. Man, lots to digest, lots to discuss. But what was the most impressive part of BYU's win to you?
Yeah, and the best part about that question is there are so many things to choose from. I've kind of narrowed it down to two things, really. The first thing that comes to mind was just how confident and, quite frankly, dominant BYU came right out of the locker room. Right from the get-go, they took control of this game. And I know that it turned into a 10-0 run by UCF, and they had the touchdown advantage, but then BYU immediately answers with the touchdown to Roberts, who broke some unbelievable tackles, stayed in bounds, and you go into halftime with a 14-point advantage. So I loved the attitude that they came out in the game with, to like, we're just going to take control of this from the start. The other thing that really stands out to me, and it goes back to the defense, which we've talked so much about, but everything about this matchup last week going into it, at least from my perspective, was can BYU slow down this rushing attack? And it was both Jakari Brown and obviously R.J. Harvey. Because you look at what the two did the previous week, and it's night and day if you look at individual performances, specifically with Brown. Because if you look at what Brown did, what Brown can do for you against Iowa State and what he can do for you against BYU are two completely different things. If you look at what he did against Iowa State the week before, 13 carries for 155 yards. Yeah.
And BYU
and 2 touchdowns, by the way.
And BYU had given up a lot of yards.
Yes, to
yards
quarterbacks.
To quarterbacks. Yes.
This, as you mentioned, 9 yards.
9.
And I understand that R.J. Harvey finished with 127 yards. He was as good as advertised, but his yards ultimately were meaningless. He had 2 big runs that gave the bulk of it, and I know they all count. You can't take them away because we always say, well, if you take away the 2 big runs. But one set up a touchdown, but the other, it didn't matter. And so BYU's defense held a potent rushing attack to almost 100 yards less than what they had been averaging. So impressive.
Friday I said on the program that BYU would outrush UCF. That felt pretty bold. It happened. And it was by a lot. 252 to 181. Are you kidding me? The fact that L.J. Martin has come back and Hinckley Ropati healthy. Yeah. L.J.'s gone for 100 back-to-back weeks, man. This guy is his legs are so strong. He falls forward. He gets extra yards. He leans into that. And then Hinckley Ropati gets 83 yards as well. So those two combined for 184. Those two outrushed the UCF attack that was going for 280 again, 3rd in the country, 2nd by some metrics. You know, 2nd straight week going 250 plus, which brings us to our stat of the day.
It's the BYU Sports Nation stat of the day.
First time 250 plus in back-to-back weeks since 2016. Remember, BYU had a NFL battery, if you will, and Taysom Hilliams. That's the combo name.
I like it.
Taysom Hill, Jamal Williams. Toledo and Michigan State in 2016. The ground attack is really good. Not to mention Jake Retzlaff scored a 29-yard rushing touchdown. So back-to-back games of 27 and now a 29 for Jake. If BYU can run the ball, they're not going to run the ball like this every week. But if they can run the ball to the tune of 175 plus, 200 plus, they will continue to win.
Why can't they run like this every week?
What's stopping them?
Yeah, what do you think would stop them?
Utah's defense is good.
Yes.
I dare say very good. They're top 25 in a bunch of stuff.
They're only averaging, giving up about 15, 16 points, even in the losses.
16.5 is 11th in the country. But I'm confident in this O-line, which is awesome because you have a 3rd stringer in Bruce Mitchell at center. Mm-hmm. You have Austin Leusa at right guard after Sonny Makasini got hurt. You've had Connor Pay out. Like, Connor Pay's out, and BYU's continued to be able to rush the ball. That's a notable thing. When Connor Pay comes back, potentially the Utah game, what do you do? Because you've got a good thing going on the O-line, right? You put Connor in there. It's just a question of, do you keep Bruce Mitchell? Do you move him at guard? Has he earned that? You got some good depth there. How about this run game for BYU? You haven't needed to chuck it for 1 million yards. You throw for 228. The balance of 200 plus has been awesome. That impressed me the most, run game.
Well, and let's talk about then, we go from the run game to the pass game, which also includes a little bit of a run game, and we're talking about Jake Retzloff, what he's done.
Man.
16 of 24, 228 yards, and 200 of that happened in the first half, by the way. 2 touchdowns, 0 INTs, an efficiency rating of 174.
By the way, that's his highest against any FBS team in his 12 starts.
He was unbelievable. 38 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. The thing that stands out to me the most about what we're seeing from Retzloff, certainly the numbers are impressive, but it's his decision-making on when to run, when to step up for a pass in the pocket. I love, you can sort of see the mental game working, and
the wheels turning.
He's playing it to perfection right now. I'm so impressed with him right now.
He's playing great. The play of the game for Jake was his 3rd and 9 run of 12 yards, where he kind of spun around and dove and got past the guy for a first down there. That was big time. This rushing touchdown right here was awesome. Jake Retzloff was great. In fact, here's Kalani Sitake on Jake Retzloff after the game with Spencer.
I love the way he's been playing. I love his leadership and just the way he is around our team. He's starting to really come into his own, and so I'm excited to see the future with him.
Jake Retzloff, top 5 in the Big 12 in the following: pass yards per completion, TD's responsible for, passing touchdowns, total yards, pass yards per attempt, pass efficiency. Jake is better than we thought. He's way better than we thought. I love, even now, like nationally, I don't know that he gets the love that he deserves. He's been awesome. Someone tweeted they loved the Beastie Boys song to the BYU highlight and said, the greatest Jewish rappers with the Jewish quarterback in BYU. I thought that was awesome. How about Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports putting out, hey, all the proceeds for this BYU t-shirt go to Jake Retzloff. That's Dave Portnoy. This guy's got millions of followers.
Legit.
It is gaining traction. What Jake is doing, who he is, how he's overcome 0-4 as a starter last year to 8-0 is unbelievable. And he's a big piece in the puzzle. This isn't a situation where you go, it's Dave Matthews' band. It's not the Jake Retzloff band. It's the BYU Cougars featuring Jake Retzloff, Chase Roberts, Darius Lassiter, LJ Martin, Mata Avatase, by the way, 3 touchdowns on 4 catches this year. Boom, right there. Well done by our production crew. Chase Roberts in the end zone at the end of the half. That was awesome for 62. BYU is truly a team. This is a great team. There's not a superstar on either side of the ball. They're a bunch of stars, and so far they're shining bright. Let's go.
Well, and I think that's also with all of the publicity that Jake is getting, and it is well earned. One of the big reasons he's getting this is because of the way the team is playing, and I know that's how every one of them looks at it. It's what we're doing as a team. It's the defense stepping up when they need to. It's the offense stepping up when they need to. And now you're getting all of these guys back, all of these players healthy, and this team is accomplishing this week in and week out.
Relatively healthy, which is great.
Yep.
Of course, there's a few injuries, but nothing major. Connor Pay, the biggest of them. Hopefully he's back against Utah. We shall see. I'm sure he'll give us an update on social media somewhere because Connor's good like that. Okay, the 2-minute offense strikes again for BYU. How about UCF late in the half scores a field goal to make it 17-10. It's like, 10 straight. What you going to do? BYU goes 75 yards in 4 plays thanks to a 62-yard touchdown to Chase Roberts where he avoids a tackle and then sprints down the sideline. Spencer spoke to Chase after the game about the mentality of the offense on 2-minute drills specifically.
You're always thinking touchdown first unless you know you're going to get tackled in bounds. So I'm always thinking touchdown, but also playing smart and getting out of bounds. But I felt he was under me and was able to shed the tackle and take it for 6. So
BYU's responding great. Like when a team is challenging them, they are responding. And at the end of the half, great, kind of that middle 8 that we've talked about. BYU's focused on that, and they've been tremendous there.
Well, the thing that I like, and it goes back to the comment about it being a team, we're watching Roberts make a big play, breaking tackles, making a play. LJ making a play, or Jake. Sometimes, obviously, we've seen Darius Lassiter making plays. It can be different guys, and that's what Aaron Roderick and Fesi Sitake have wanted this offense to be, where you don't know where it's going to come from. And if you take away this weapon, we've got this weapon. and that's what BYU is showing as it continues through the season.
You don't need like, okay, throw it to Puka, he'll make a play. Like
Right.
you have several very good players, right? Is there a great player on the team, like a first or second round guy right now? Probably not, but you got a bunch of guys that could be in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round kind of stuff as we look forward the next couple of years in the NFL draft.
All right, let's switch things up and go back to the defensive side of the football. Look at this. Versus UCF, 24 points, and let's be honest, the last 2 touchdowns kind of garbage points anyway. You bring in the 4th-string quarterback.
You're up three
was a
scores.
Completely different style of quarterback.
Yeah.
And he went and just went throwing the ball.
All good.
So I'm not concerned about 24 points. 379 total yards, 181 rushing yards. We mentioned this.
They averaged 280.
280 is what they average. It's nuts. And 2 takeaways again. This defense is phenomenal. The BYU defense has at least 2 interceptions in all 5 Big 12 games this season. Look at that.
14 from 11 different players. Isaiah Glasker gets a second, and then Falatau Satwala gets his first, true freshman. Awesome. This team continues to take the ball away.
Plus 7 in the takeaways on the year, I believe.
It's amazing. They did not need 2 takeaways to win this game per se, but it certainly helps, right? And it's awesome that, by the way, BYU is super deep. They play a ton of 2s on defense. There's some 3s that get in there. Regardless of kind of who leaves and whatever, you have an all kind of senior defensive line starters. Like those backups are getting quality reps that it's not like they haven't played. The BYU defense is incredible. Oh, by the way, the BYU offense, should have mentioned a moment ago, they've scored between 34 and 41 in all the Big 12 games. The only Power 6 game they haven't is SMU, where it was 18-15, defense carried it. But this offense is better than you think, too. We were talking a lot about the defense. The offense last 2 weeks is like, yo, we're right here. We're scoring 34-plus every game. And those are winning numbers. Those really are.
Well, and it goes along the same lines we were talking about the offense. On defense, it could be Glasker, it could be Jacob Robinson, it could be the Mangler, Mangelson, or John Nelson. It can be so many different guys. Harrison Taggart has played fantastic this year. All of these guys. We didn't mention Jack Kelly.
Oh, by the way, probably BYU's best player, maybe Isaiah Glasker.
Jack Kelly and Isaiah Glasker should end up being all Big 12.
Walking into this, yeah.
And we haven't even brought up Tyler Batty.
Oh, by the way, Tyler Batty. Tyler Batty's numbers aren't as good as they were the last couple of years, but he's having a huge impact on this defense regardless. Leadership, taking on blockers, and so on and so forth. Okay, to special teams now.
Oh, it was special.
One of the plays of the year, the fake field goal. Okay, the snap to Sam Vanderhaar. Between the legs, no look to your boy Will Farron, who grabs it one-handed, by the way. He can throw it to Ethan Erickson, but Kalani's like, get out of bounds. Here's the first down marker. Get out. Yes. This was incredible. Sam Vanderhaar had never been a holder, by the way, until he came to BYU. He put in the time. Now he's snapping between the legs to Will Farron. Special teams continue to be in their bag. Kelly Papinga, the real MVP. We've seen kickoff return for a touchdown, punt return for a touchdown, fake punt at Baylor. We've seen a 54-yard field goal. Now we add the fake field goal. BYU plays fun football on all sides of the ball. You want to be a cornered up blitzes, play for Jay Hill's defense. You want to be a defensive lineman that gets interceptions? We've had multiple. Play for the BYU defense. You want to play on the most unique, fun, aggressive, efficient special teams in the country? Come to Brigham. Come to BYU, where Parker Kingston will throw you a touchdown pass. This is fun to watch.
Had you ever seen a double snap? I'd never seen that before.
I don't recall. Yeah.
I have never seen
I've seen it where
that looked like that.
Oh, right. You've seen it where the holder will pitch it.
Yes, I've never seen essentially a double snap.
And people are like, well, yeah, you can stay. The holder, obviously, his knee is down, you're not down. That's the exception to the rule there. But how about Will catching it with one hand, looking at Ethan Erickson, being like, I'm running, he's running, I'll just run.
Well, the first option, and we've got a soundbite from Farron. I don't want to take it away. He may talk about. In fact, let's run this in case he talks about it.
Yeah, we've been working on that one for weeks. It's been probably about the whole season. We got the look we wanted. They're bringing it off the edge. That little throw, I don't know if you saw the throw, Sam.
Between the legs!
Yeah, they were firm. It had to be between the legs. And at first, he was not good at it. The first week we ran it, and then he got better, and we put in the time, and it was there, and we got it. So we'll take it.
They wanted it to be a between-the-leg snap.
Well,
that's hilarious.
I don't know if he ended up saying this on the TV postgame. Obviously, I'm doing stuff on the radio side, but I know on the radio side he said that the first read is to run it for the first. That's the number one goal. Because you could see that there was somebody down the field. If he wanted to throw it, the option was there.
Yeah.
But it was obviously the number one read he's supposed to take is to get the first down by running the ball.
Ethan doesn't have a catch this year. That would have been nice to throw it. But next time.
You know you're getting the first down. It's wide open. I would not want the pressure of being the one that throws that on the run when you're not necessarily used to throwing it and you make a bad throw or something.
And on the run. And if he plants, he's probably getting hit. So, don't.
I'm sure Will Ferrin is so much better throwing the football than I am.
Yes.
But so I'm with him. I'm just taking the first down, getting the first down, getting a new set of downs and going.
And no one's going to remember that BYU actually didn't score a touchdown on that drive. It was a field goal, and that's okay. It's awesome. Will Ferrell.
Still got points.
Either way. Not Will Ferrell. That's a different guy. Okay, BYU alone at the top of the Big 12 because Iowa State out of bye. So BYU's 5-0. They're in league. They're 8-0. Iowa State, a half game back of BYU there. Kansas State, Colorado at 4-1. Right? There's a little bit of separation here. As long as BYU can stay in that 0 or 1 loss spot towards the end of the year, you like the Cougars' chances to get to the Big 12 title game with 4 to go. Bye week this week, and then Utah, who is 1-4 in league, which is crazy.